I'd like to call this special meeting of the Town Council to order. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So welcome to our special meeting. We only have one agenda item, so we'll go through this fairly quickly. Announcements, I don't have any. Eileen, would you have any announcements?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Got one today. Just a few minutes ago. So, sorry. I'll be right with you. Courier. Okay. I wanted everyone to know that on Friday at 9 o'clock, all of the fire apparatus will be turning their lights on. And I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of it. And if you will please indulge me, I'd like to just read this letter for what the purpose of it is. This is from the fire chief. The Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance is calling on all firefighters to light up their fire apparatus Friday night at 9 p.m. to remember those who have taken their own lives. Mental health has become a major concern in the fire service, and the Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance remains committed to honoring those firefighters and first responders who struggle with issues such as post-traumatic stress disorder. As part of this day of remembrance and awareness, the Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance is calling on all firefighters across the country to light up the night by placing their fire apparatus outside the stations and turning on the emergency lights for 1 minute this night, 5/17, which is Friday at 9 p.m. The Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance also encourages anyone who wants to participate to join the local firefighters or simply stand in their driveways with a lit candle to remember the families who are suffering through these preventable losses. This Friday, the Merrimack Fire Department will be participating in this event. So if anyone wants to know, he's passing along the information. And I would just like to say that I think that sometimes we forget the things that firefighters see and witness on a daily basis. Some of the things that you hear about, the horrific car accidents or a fire where someone has perished, or an ambulance call, or overdoses of young people, or all the worst things that you could probably think of, they may see in a month's time. So as far as the town is concerned, what we do with the police and the fire department is when a particularly difficult event occurs for them that they witness, that we offer some form of counseling service to them if they would be, if they're willing to participate in it. So I just say God bless the fire department for what they do, and I hope people are aware of the problem and support their firefighters and ambulance drivers for the things that they go through. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you very much, Eileen.
Well said, Eileen. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the board at this point? Seeing none, we'll move, Pete.
I just reiterate what Eileen said, and well, I still am a first responder, I guess, but I've watched the firemen over the years in our town. They've done a fantastic job. I'll tell you, there's many times I've shown up at an accident scene and I don't have the skill set that they have, and I've prayed for them to get there quick, and they do a great job. And I just want to commend them, and they do see a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, moving on, comments from the press and public. Seeing none. Our one order of business for tonight is approval of letter of support for Boston University's research proposal submitted by Town Council Chairman Tom Koenig and Vice Chair Bill Boyd. Town Council to consider the approval of a letter of support for the Boston University research proposal entitled Health Implications of Exposure to PFAS Contaminated Drinking Water in the Merrimack, New Hampshire area. This was brought forward by Lorraine Allen at our last meeting, asking us to sign on in support of the program. It's a CDC-sponsored grant that Boston University is applying for. And what we're looking to do is just send a letter to Dr. Wendy Heiger-Bernays, something like that. Boston.
Very well done.
At Boston University, and you've all received copies of proposed letters, which are based roughly on the letter that was given to us by Lorraine last Thursday, along with some basic backup information. Does anybody have any suggestions or comments at this point? Nancy?
Hi. Okay, I read the 50-some-odd pages. I didn't read the 200 because a lot of them were forms, but anyway. And I read the letter. I had some confusion because this is, our original letter says, provide support for BU's research proposal entitled Health Implications. This is not BU's. This is the CDC. Okay? This doesn't change my opinion about supporting. I'm just saying the letter, the original letter says, for Boston University's research proposal entitled Health Implications of Exposure to PFAS Contaminated Drinking Water in Merrimack. We did not get that, so how can we support something we didn't get? We got the CDC, which was what BU, the CDC did an RFA, request for application.
Right.
Okay? BU was responding to that. That's what we're supporting. We're supporting their RFA. We're not supporting, because we don't have the proposal. So it's just a semantical thing, but I think there's some accuracy that has to. So my suggestion is, and it's minor, is the very first sentence. We wish to provide support for Boston University to receive positive consideration in response to the center, and the rest of it would be the same. I'm just taking out the piece of literature that we don't have. We're saying we support it. How can we support something we've never seen? Okay? So I'm going along with supporting this. And so if something is dramatically different in terms of their proposal, which I trust there won't be, we're not saying we're supporting the proposal. We don't have it. But we are supporting what the CDC is requesting, or requiring for criteria.
Could you repeat that?
I have it all written out for you. I have one other suggestion.
I'm just wondering if maybe everybody else might want to write it down as well.
Do you want me to repeat it? Okay, following the letter, we wish to provide support for Boston University, so take out the, Boston University, and cross out everything after that,
Including the apostrophe S.
correct, and put in to receive positive consideration, and then continue, in response to the Center for, the rest of it's the same, because it talks about the RFA. That's all it is. It's taking out that proposal which we did not have to review, but we're saying give consideration to what they want to do for the RFA.
Just one more thing, Nance.
Yeah.
You said, take out the from Boston University, and you said after,
And cross out research proposal entitled Health Implications of Exposure to PFAS Contaminated Drinking Water in Merrimack, New Hampshire area. And then insert there, to receive positive consideration, and then continue with what's already there, in response to the Center of Disease Control. There.
Tom?
Yes, Pete?
Nancy, I guess the wording positive consideration, why don't we just go direct at it, like grant funding for the.
It's, how
'cause
you
that's
say
what
it's
we're going
fine
for,
with
right?
me.
That's what they're going for, is grant funding to do this.
Which
stuff.
is what the RFA is.
Yeah.
RFA is a request for applications. They're responding to that request. I'm okay with changing wording. I'm open to that.
I guess I know where you're going with positive consideration, I guess.
Because they're gonna be applying. So we're saying we want you to
Yeah,
give, that's all. But I'm okay to, a change in wording. I don't care.
yeah, like, I mean, I'm not hung up on it, I'm just saying, I'm just go right at it, hey, we want you to give them the grant funding. You know? We, you know,
Well, from,
Not-
okay, I don't know if it makes a difference or not.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, that kind of semantics is immaterial. The-
Yeah.
The concept of positive consideration is the equivalent of a grant funding, but
I do have one other as well. Second page, paragraph, next to the last paragraph is one sentence. It ends with related to this problem. Okay? What I'd like to do is add this sentence. The Merrimack Town Council would appreciate receiving a copy of the report with study results. Because I noticed in the previous support letters, that was stated, which I thought was good. We did not have that before. So requesting it, it's just an addition, that's all,
yeah, that's fine.
okay? So those are the only two changes. And what I did have is, I asked Becky, now obviously if there are changes, this is not gonna be true. But I had Becky type it up so that if we approve it as is, we can sign the revised copy. But that is not, I'm just trying to be
Just being efficient. yeah.
efficient. If it gets changed, I don't take it personal.
Okay, I failed to mention that Barbara is excused from this meeting. She was unable to clear her calendar to be able to come tonight, but she's already expressed her interest in supporting the study and the CDC's efforts, and the letter that she had seen, she was happy with. So I don't think she would be upset about the changes that you're proposing. Any other comments? Finley?
Thanks, Tom. I just wanted to be sure that it's correct when we say that DES has collected thousands of private well samples.
Oh, yeah. Is that
Is that
true?
accurate?
We already got that.
So I don't know if it is.
What is that?
Thousands.
I think what, Lon brought this up to me already, so we're gonna give him credit first, okay?
Absolutely.
And that is
I
that,
give him the credit.
the thousands represents the whole area, including Litchfield and all that kind of thing. So he was suggesting,
multi.
as I'm sure that you are, that we use a different number than thousands.
It would be better, I think.
If we're just talking
Well-
about Merrimack.
Hmm. In addition, PFAS compounds have been detected in Merrimack's municipal water supply. DES has collected thousands of private well samples which have been analyzed for, it's in the same sentence, it's probably not correct. I mean, they have across the area, across the state, but certainly within Merrimack.
Our area, Litchfield.
Even in our area, they have probably collected thousands, but
All right, no, I mean, if it's accurate, I'm all good with it. I just was surprised. I knew they collected a boatload of samples, but I didn't know thousands.
imagine would be in Litchfield.
Yeah.
Mike's not on.
Hundreds.
Yeah, the question is whether that sentence requires us to limit it to Merrimack's area or Merrimack's.
Well, it does talk
Geographical
about
area.
detected in Merrimack's municipal water supply, New Hampshire, as you said, it's the same sentence.
I
Well,
don't think
the water
it's
supply
really,
goes beyond our
I
borders, though,
understand.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't go to Litchfield.
I don't think that that's such a huge thing. I don't think that they're gonna look at it and say, oh, busted. Some of these were in Litchfield.
I mean, thousands sounds better, but I just.
It does.
How about a myriad? They've
We already
collected a
got
myriad.
Marriott in there once.
I like it twice. Redundancy is good.
The more we wordsmith this, the longer we're gonna be here tonight,
Yeah.
gentlemen
I
and
understand.
ladies.
Somewhere to go that's more important than right here?
No,
Absolutely not.
Well, I do. Oh. Um,
I don't have heartburn over it, to be honest with
My
you.
wife is not feeling well. Anyway. What's the feeling of the council? Do you want to change that kind of stuff, or do you want to just, I don't think we'll get busted, but, Lon?
I don't think it's a matter of getting busted or diminishing the request for support. But I believe that it's going to be very difficult to explain to people that, given the verbiage of the letter, we're indicating that there have been thousands of tests on private wells in Merrimack. If we can somehow change that to include perhaps above, the town believes the area is an ideal community, or it
Or change it to hundreds.
It's for Merrimack, so.
or
um,
change it to hundreds, because
Probably the
perhaps we
easiest.
can defend that. I cannot defend thousands,
Okay.
the way this is written.
I don't
Okay,
disagree, I
Thank you
don't
for your
disagree with you.
consideration.
So if it says hundreds, you'd be okay with it? Yes.
I believe that's a true number.
Okay. I'm okay with
I'm with
that.
you on that.
I'm
Because
okay
what
with
the thousands relates to in my world is we have a president who's not lying. He just likes to really make it sound
Exactly.
unbelievable.
Hyperbole.
It sounds unbelievable. And I don't, everybody wants to say it's a lie, but it's, it's just trying to get a point across in a
Yeah,
grand way.
hundreds.
It's huge.
Huge.
It's bigly, huge.
Okay. So,
And then a matter of semantics, to make sure that the date is corrected to the 15th.
it says the 15th on this.
The one I got
Here.
says the 14th on both of them.
Me too. This was the draft, that's what they
Okay, these were the versions we were going to,
signed.
and the back page says the 14th, so maybe
'Cause
the
that
back
was the
page
one I've
needs to
done
be
today.
updated as well.
Correct.
Well, you can't sign it anyway tonight, because you've made a change, so,
Well, you
we
can-
will,
you
we
can
will
because-
change the,
You can, because the changes
We
that
haven't changed anything on page 2 yet, except that it says May 14 on it.
May 14th on the date as well.
Oh, and that, oh,
yes, we
that,
Yeah,
have
that's
changed
gonna need to be
page 2.
changed.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
the sentence that I added.
Well, it's on this one.
No, it's on this one.
Well, it's on that one too. She,
Oh,
he
okay.
has
Not
a
on this
version.
one. I have an official one without.
But it says May
Okay.
14th at the top.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, well, forget it.
okay, so we'd have to
All
come
the
in and
best
sign
laid,
it.
all the best laid plans.
All right, so I can mark on this then.
I was trying to allow that if there, it was agreed. we could
appreciate that.
Sign it, but. No, it isn't.
And lastly, under the signature page where it says the Merrimack Town Council, Town of Merrimack, New Hampshire, isn't Town of Merrimack, New Hampshire in some ways redundant
We were talking about.
under the signature line, page 2?
Well,
Town council for the town.
I don't think it's redundant. I think it just,
It's appropriate because the town of Merrimack is in New Hampshire, and you need to put Town of Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Very correctly done.
Mr. Chairman, I would move the letter with the appropriate amendments.
well, let's define the amendments for sure then, please.
The two sentences.
The two sentences, the dates,
Okay,
no, Mr. Chairman, I approve the letter as amended as scribed by Town Manager Eileen Cavanaugh.
okay,
It's in there.
Second.
okay, motion by Bill and seconded by Peter. Peter, I'm just gonna ask to be clear, the comments you made about, the first line, receiving positive consideration versus, receiving a grant or whatever, are you okay with the way it's worded right now?
Absolutely, either way is acceptable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of the letter as amended, Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? It's 6-0-0 with Barbara not here, but she did express her support for the letter.
Correct.
So, that concludes our business. Comments from the press? Comments from the public?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it's very important. I really appreciate the extra time that everyone's given in reading that lengthy, as you said, about 50 pages of specifics, and the rest is forms. And just to let you know, if you're concerned, that that proposal is very, very specific. There's no wiggle room. They have to do exactly what ATSDR is saying as kind of an arm of the national agenda. So thank you for your time and consideration, and it's a very competitive process, so time and energy could be for naught, but I remain hopeful that the team at BU is very familiar. They've had a lot of talks with myself, DES, DHHS, many, many people, and if they are denied from ATSDR, I'm pretty hopeful that they're going to look for another national grant, because they are very interested in helping find out some information. So thank you.
Okay.
Lauren, quick question. Do you know
Yes.
if the school board's been asked for support?
The school board will probably, it talks in there about neuropsychological testing.
But
So
it talks about talks about local government, community,
yes,
school boards, state, local.
yes.
So I was just wondering if the school board's
So we
been...
spoke to them, but they're not meeting, of course, till next Monday, the 20th. So I believe somebody is going to write something in there, just that they've been spoken to and contacted with. Because basically what they would do to be supportive is lend some space. Because, of course, if a parent says we need school record access for this specific
That's
thing,
what the school...
they
Because that's
sign.
in there.
Yeah.
Accessing school records for
Exactly.
health and stuff.
Exactly. So parents, of course, would give permission. Without
Correct.
permission, it's nothing. But they also need to lend some space for the testing, which I reached out, and I had an indication that it would be not a problem, but there's not an official letter because they have to vote.
It would
and-
just be nice.
Yes,
that's
it
all.
would be. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments from the council. Finley?
It starts at
Go,
this end
Finley,
all the time,
go.
Don't you know by now?
Go, Finley,
What?
move it.
Starts at this end, doesn't he know
Finley,
that by
go.
now? Just two quick things, since we have this special opportunity. I wanted to remind everybody on Saturday, it's the Public Works Department open house, the ribbon cutting for the new highway garage, and that evening from 6, and that's from 9 until 12, and from 6 to 9 that evening is the 50th anniversary of the Merrimack Youth Association. Love to see everybody there at the beer garden at Anheuser-Busch. Thank you.
And you said we could get tickets at the door,
Yes, you can get them at the door. Okay.
and it's not going to charge twice as much?
No, not at all.
Just checking.
We're trying to get as many people there as possible. It's a lot of good things, a lot of great people who've worked over the years with the program, as everybody here knows about. So,
Okay,
thanks.
terrific.
Thank you, Billy.
Bill?
Very quickly, Reeds Ferry Elementary School is having their art and ice cream social next Thursday, May 23rd, from 5:15 to 7 p.m. Get your ice cream fixed before coming to the town council meeting, like I'm going to do. Hope to see everybody there. Please come out and support the kids. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Bill, seconded by Nancy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstaining? None. 6-0-0.